This is the brilliance of 2017 Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas single-handedly won several Celtics games in 2017, carried their nightly scoring burden, helped pace the Celtics to 53 wins, and impressively tossed up the greatest advanced metrics in scoring season by any small guard under 6 feet ever. Here is a deep dive into the 2016-17 season of IT.
When you need the little guy, he shows up. They could see 5 or 6 from the line, 3 or 5 from the field.
IT's scoring numbers speak for themselves. 28.9 points per game, which is about 31.8 points per 75 possessions. 46% from the field, 38% from 3 on 8.5 attempts per game, and 91% from the free throw line. That's good for a 54.6% effective field goal percentage, which is 3.2% above league average, and a 62.5% true shooting percentage, which was plus 7.3. Now let's look a little deeper at how IT got his points. Being 5'9", he wasn't the most efficient at rim, where he was 54.4%, or the 32nd percentile, so he did his damage in other spots on the floor. On relatively low volume, he was hyper-efficient from 10 to 16 feet, and 16 feet to three-pointer, where he was 51.6% and 50% respectively. He was extremely shifty, which allowed separation on step backs versus smaller players. He did a lot of his damage as an elite high-volume three-point shooter, specifically above the break. He attempted just over 8 above-the-break three-pointers per 75 possessions and canned 37.2% of them. For comparison, he was more efficient than Damian Lillard that year and did so even on slightly higher volume. What makes this so impressive is on a lot of his shots, again, he had to rely on creating enough separation and arc on his shot to get a clean look. He had amongst the worst three-point looks in the entire league per shot quality, yet was the best of the best in creation and shot making. He also had an uncanny ability to draw fouls and get to the line, as well as absorb punishment remarkably well for a small guard, shades of Allen Iverson. He attempted 9.4 free throws per 75, which is 4th in the league. He was also 21st of those 109 qualified players in 2-point and ones. Despite his raw at-rim field goal percentage not being pretty, deeper digging shows impressive resilience. Balance and contortion allowed him to convert more often than not, considering the quality of his field goal attempts. When adjusting for shot quality, his finishing talent was in the 100th percentile per Basketball Index. What also made him a better than expected rim finisher was the pure volume. 18.6 drives and 7.6 total shots at the rim per 75 were amongst the highest in the league. IT also wasn't simply an ISO ball black hole. He frequently relied on movement and off-ball screens to create cleaner looks for himself. He averaged 3 off-screen scoring opportunities per 75, which is in the 97th percentile that year. I'd also be remiss to not mention his playmaking. The relentless pressure he put on defenses created several openings for teammates. He averaged 5.6 high-quality assists per 75, which is in the 91st percentile, high-quality assists being 3-point and at-rim assists. All of this is made that much more impressive considering the insane usage he had. Now look at these numbers. He did all of this, all of the aforementioned scoring and playmaking squeezed into just 33.8 minutes per game. His minute-for-minute ROI was out of the park. Here are some other numbers compared to all other point guards ages 26 through 28 since 1978. On this chart, SQ is shot quality, load is offensive load, and creation is box creation. Open shots created for teammates per 100. Now, we all know about Dame time in the fourth quarter, but in 2017, it was IT who was the king of the fourth. IT averaged 9.8 points per fourth quarter on 65% true shooting, which was even better than his overall season true shooting percentage. The accolades rolled in. All-NBA second team, All-Star, 5th in MVP voting. What made this season so special was how he resiliently gave it his all in the playoffs amidst injury and personal tragedy with the loss of his sister. May 2017, mouth swollen and on his sister's would-be 23rd birthday, Isaiah Thomas drops in 53 points in a double overtime win over the Wizards in the Eastern Conference semifinals. "The least I can do is go out there and play for her," he said after the explosion, which at that time was the second highest total in Celtics playoff history. He scored 20 points in the fourth quarter and 9 in overtime to help the Celtics take a 2-0 lead over Washington. When LeBron was asked about Isaiah Thomas in December of 2016 and to compare him to a player, he shook his head and said, "No, he's a unique talent. He's a guy that you want on your team because he's going to try to prove everybody wrong, and he's using that as inspiration."
So you can see 5 of 6 from the line, 3 of 5.